If you're going on a Disney cruise and are wondering the best way to get to the cruise terminal from wherever you are staying before your cruise, I am here today to share with you everything you need to know about the Disney Cruise Line shuttle bus. Unless you live within a couple hours of the cruise terminal, I always recommend flying or driving in at least one day before your cruise starts. Things happen all the time, like flight delays, things like that, and if you do not make it to the cruise on time, they will leave without you. So you have a lot of options about how to get there, but today we're going to talk about the Disney Cruise Line bus so you can see if that is a good option for you. This video is specific to Port Canaveral in Florida. However, a lot of the things that you're going to see here are somewhat standard for other locations as well, but this one's just specific to Port Canaveral, so I just want to make sure you are aware of that I am not talking about using the shuttle for Fort Lauderdale or anywhere else. A lot of people choose to stay at Walt Disney World before sailing out of Port Canaveral because it's really easy. It gets you into the magic a little bit earlier. You can spend some time in the park, or you can spend some time at the resort, maybe watching the fireworks from your room. So that is going to be the first way that we're going to talk about if you're going from Disney to Port Canaveral. This is something that you do need to reserve ahead of time, so you can't just stay at a Disney resort and then plan to take the shuttle bus. You do need to call ahead of time and book this. You can book this up until 3 days before your sail date, as long as they still have availability. This is something you can do yourself, and you'll have to call into Disney for that. Sometimes they will allow you to book it online, but it's not always available that way. Or if you're working with a travel agent, your travel agent will actually have to do it for you if you're working with them. So they'll take care of it for you. The cost for the cruise shuttle bus is $45 per person per way, and you can do just one way if that's what you need, or you can do a round trip. If you are traveling with a child who would normally need a car seat, they do not need a car seat on this type of transportation. They just sit on your lap. It's a motor coach, so you don't have to worry about car seats. You can cancel your shuttle transportation anywhere up to 8 days before your cruise, but after 8 days, you will not get a refund. So keep that in mind if you're booking this. Okay, so if you're going from a Disney resort to Port Canaveral, you will receive an email a couple of days beforehand that tells you your departure time, meeting location, and when Bell Services will come to pick up your luggage. You will want to make sure that the cruise luggage tags that you get in the mail are on your bags. Now, if you don't get them for some reason, you can pick them up when you do your check-in at the resort in the morning, or you can pick some up at the terminal. Bell Services does come around pretty early if you're staying at a Disney hotel, usually 7 or 8 a.m. in the morning. So you'll want to have your bags ready by then. They will come and pick up the luggage, and it will just magically appear in your stateroom later that day. Super easy. If for some reason you cannot have your bags ready that early, that is very early, then you also have the option of bringing it out to the shuttle yourself. And then when you get to the terminal as well, there are porters there that you can hand off the luggage to, so it's not that big of a deal. But if you have a lot of luggage, like you're traveling with a larger party, or maybe smaller children who can't manage their own luggage, just keep in mind that you will have to take care of all of that luggage on your own if you don't have it available when Bell Services comes around. And then when you get off the shuttle at the terminal, you will just give it to the porter, and they will make sure that it gets on the cruise. When you arrive to your destination for your meeting place to check in for the cruise bus, you're going to want to make sure that you have your passport, and you also want to have that QR code from your online check-in. Once you've checked in, you will be given a sticker, and the sticker is what is going to determine which bus you get on. When your sticker is called, you will go wait in line. If you have luggage that you need to give them, they'll load it up right there. Otherwise, you'll just get on the bus. This is a view of what the inside of the buses look like. Like I said, they are a motor coach. They do have a bathroom in the back. They're pretty comfortable, pretty roomy, and they do have a TV that plays trivia and Mickey cartoons. Most of the shuttles have footrests and USB charging ports, which is really nice. And then you are off to the cruise terminal. The trip takes a little over an hour depending on traffic. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy the journey. Once you get there, like I said, if you already gave them your bags, you will head straight to check-in. If you have to manage your own bags, there is a porter right there that they can take your bags, and just make sure those cruise luggage tags are on. If you're not, just make sure that you get some. One of the biggest perks of using the cruise shuttle bus is that you don't have to worry about your port arrival time. Taking the Disney Cruise Shuttle bus from both the Disney Resort and the Hyatt Hotel at the airport get you in a higher boarding group automatically. A good example of this is on our last cruise, I was placed in a 12:30 to 1 o'clock boarding group because I booked it at the last minute, and so I missed my Castaway Cay Club check-in time. But then I booked the transportation from my Disney Resort, and I was actually in group 5, so I was able to get on the ship actually a little bit before noon. It's a really nice perk to be able to take advantage of if you're using the shuttle bus. The reason that boarding early is so desirable is because it gives you an opportunity to get in, have a nice lunch. If you want to eat at one of the sit-down restaurants or get up to Cabanas or Marceline Market before it gets too crazy, if you wait too long, things can just be really hectic in the dining rooms. You may have to wait to get into the main dining room. The buffets might just be packed. So getting on the ship early allows you to have a nice lunch. It also gives you the opportunity to head up to Senses Spa, get rainforest room passes or any spa reservations that maybe you couldn't get before. Gives you extra time to get dining that you maybe missed out on. Remy, Palo, or any of the other adult-only dining restaurants maybe you missed out during your booking window. If you want to get waitlisted or see if there's any availability, being on the ship early definitely helps. Also just gives you more time in general to enjoy the ship. You can pack a swimsuit in your carry-on, enjoy the pool. It gives you a little bit of a head start on your vacation. After your cruise is done, you can take the transportation back to any Disney resort, or you can take the transportation to the airport. Either way, when you get to the end of your cruise, you want to make sure that you have your Key to the World card with you. This will help them find out where you are going and which bus you should be on. One thing to know about taking the Disney Cruise Shuttle from Disney, or even back to Disney, is that they do not go to the Swan and Dolphin Complex. So the bus doesn't go to the Swan, Dolphin, or Swan Reserve. It only goes to the main Disney resorts. And I know this is a little confusing because technically, right, Disney World, Swan, Dolphin, and Swan Reserve always get those deluxe perks, but they actually don't share the same transportation as Disney. So in this case, the Disney Cruise Shuttle will not take you to Swan, Dolphin, or Swan Reserve. So if you're staying at any of those before or after your cruise, you will need to find a different method of transportation. Okay, so looking at the other ways you can travel on the Disney Cruise bus. If you are going from the Hyatt at MCO, it works basically the same way. You'll get an email saying when you should meet there, when they'll pick up your luggage and all of that, and then you'll meet there in the morning, get your sticker, and find out what time your bus is leaving. Staying at the airport hotel is such a convenient way to do cruises out of Port Canaveral, because if you don't want to have to worry about getting to Disney and then getting from Disney to the terminal, you can basically just fly in, stay in the hotel right inside the airport, take the bus the next day to the port, and it's easy just like that. Now, the last way to take the Disney Cruise Shuttle, and this is not something I personally recommend, at least not post-COVID, with all of the issues that we have seen coming from airlines, is you can take it directly from the airport to Port Canaveral. If you're going to do this, it does work a little different than the other two ways. When you arrive at the airport, you will go all the way down to the area where, nearest transportation normally is. You'll just follow the signs for ground transportation, and you'll see there's a section to check in for cruise transportation. You can check in as early as 8:30 in the morning, and they start leaving usually as early as 10:15 to 10:20, and then the last bus of the day leaves at 2 p.m. So if for some reason you schedule this transportation and your plane arrives after 2 o'clock, you will not be able to take the Disney Cruise Shuttle bus. You will have to take a different form of transportation and hope that you get to the terminal on time. Now, the really big thing to know about this is that you could check in at 10 o'clock and technically not leave until after 12:30, because it is first come, first serve. So when you arrive, you will check in, get your sticker, and then whenever the bus that coincides with your sticker arrives, that's when you will leave. It can take a very long time. This is actually not something that I really recommend doing, but then again, I don't really recommend flying in on that day anyway. So that's just my opinion, and some people will completely disagree with me. Some people like living their life on the edge, and that's fine. I'm not that person. If your flight is delayed, like I said, and you can't get to the cruise on time, they won't wait for you. They'll leave without you, and in that case, they don't generally tend to give refunds or anything like that. So it's just something to keep in mind. Overall, I think that taking the Disney Cruise Line shuttle is super convenient. There's a lot of things to consider about about why the cruise shuttle may or may not work for you, but hopefully this video has given you some of the details that you need to know to see if this is something that will work for your family or not. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.